Reforming immigration the right thing to do for America? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. The controversy over illegal immigration took another turn today. In order to persuade conservatives to support a new law, some Republican senators, including John McCain and Marco Rubio, are hoping that tough new border proposals that will cost billions will be enough to pass legislation that would allow illegal aliens already here to work legally. Basically, the new stuff comes down to doubling the Border Patrol from 20 to 40,000 on the Mexican front, building 700 miles of new fence, and installing a variety of high-tech gizmos designed to track those who cross the border illegally. In addition, the E-Verify system would be used so aliens who do not follow the rules couldn't work in the USA at all. Now, the bill is extremely complicated and, if passed, would take years to implement. Senator Rubio told me on the phone today that it would be at least 13 years, before people in the country illegally right now could gain full legal working status, and even longer to achieve citizenship. Talking Points supports immigration reform, even though I well understand the new law will be somewhat chaotic and will be a magnet for even more people to come here illegally, which is why we need stepped-up security on the border. For conservative Americans, the issue is a difficult one because immigration reform would reward bad behavior, the illegal entry into the USA. But please keep in mind that part of that illegal behavior was actually encouraged by the federal government, which for decades did nothing to stop it. Also, some business people who make money from cheap labor aided and abetted illegal immigration. The Republican Party has a lot to lose here. If it doesn't compromise, many Hispanic voters will reject the GOP entirely, pretty much dooming the party in the future. That's reality. Liberals, on the other hand, are generally soft on illegal immigration because it helps the Democrats, as most new voters support the entitlement party. Also, the left likes to bill itself as the ideology of compassion. A footnote off all of this comes in New Yorker magazine, which implies that Fox News colluded with Republican senators on immigration reform. The writer Ryan Leeser reports that I, your humble correspondent, had private conversations with Republican senators and agreed to support the immigration bill in those conversations. That never happened. I never collude with anyone. This is a no collusion zone. I occasionally talk with politicians who give me information, as every political analyst and reporter does. But there are never, ever any deals made here about anything. Back to reality. It is time for the USA to pass immigration reform. For years, I've called for a more secure southern border. You know that. And now it looks like the secure border is in reach, at least somewhat. So I hope this bill does become law. I'm a memo. Now for the top story tonight, reaction joining us from Washington, Senator Jeff Flake from Arizona. First of all, Senator, I don't believe I've ever colluded with you, have I?
No, anybody who accused you of colluding with anybody is off the mark.
I mean, my reputation on the Hill is like, stay away from this guy. All right, now, when are we going to see the bill? Because there's a lot of debate about stuff that it might be in there, could happen, this, that, and the other thing. When are we going to see it?
Well, the new language you're referring to is an amendment offered by Senators Hoeven and Corker, which will likely be voted on Monday or Tuesday. It will be introduced this weekend. And it does include doubling the Border Patrol, also 700 new miles of fencing. The Border Patrol actually will be so thick, 40,000 across the southern border. Some are even calling this hands across the border. There will be a border agent every 1,000 feet.
Well, we need it.
So
I mean, we need it. Let's face it.
I can tell you, we need to secure the border for national security and every other reason.
All right. Now, will that be enough? Will that be enough, the border security, to convince people like Senator Rand Paul from Kentucky and other conservative individuals to support the measure? I mean, you must be talking to and colluding with, I guess. Is it going to be enough?
Well, it will be enough to bring, we think, anywhere between 8 and 13 or 14 new members along. So our goal has been to have at least 70 votes for this bill, and I think we'll be close with this amendment.
Okay. Are you going to lose any Democrats who are going to bail because of the tighter security?
You know, I hope not, but that's always a bit of a possibility. But we will have sufficient votes, I think, with this stronger border surge, if you will, to pass the bill.
Okay, now what's the time frame of the full vote in the Senate to pass the bill?
Well, it looks like we'll hopefully be able to vote on final passage the end of next week.
Okay, so the end of next week.
By the 4th of July holiday, will be gone.
And then it goes to the House, which has its own bill, by the way, and they're going to massage it a little bit, correct?
They will. They will be unlikely to pass a big bill, but they'll probably pass a border security bill.
So they're not going to pass your bill. The House won't pass the whole bill that you put out, but a portion of it.
Correct.
Then that comes back to you guys, right?
That's correct. We would have a conference committee reconcile the two versions. That's what's likely to happen.
Okay. So the bill that you put out at the middle of next week, there's going to be some changes made to it before it gets to President Obama's desk, if it does, if the House does pass it.
Right.
All right. So now I'm going to give
you
put on your prediction hat. When will immigration reform get to the president's desk?
Well, the House has their own schedule. We'll be working in July. The House will likely be doing appropriation bills. Then August is typically off. So I would guess September if I had to make a guess.
All right. Now, this is vitally important for your state. Are you going to predict it's going to pass?
I am. I think it's well past time for all the reasons that you outlined. But we have not had a bill that had such strong border security elements. I can tell you that'll be welcomed in Arizona.
Do you believe it is the solution to this problem?
I do. Not just the border security elements, but E-Verify, like you said, mandatory nationwide.
Right.
Also an entry-exit system for everybody who comes here on a legal visa and then overstays, and that accounts for about 40% of those who are here illegally.
I don't really understand how you're going to catch them if they overstay by E-Verify.
Well, when E-Verify, if they can't produce documents to work,
yeah, they can't work.
They won't be able to work.
They can overstay and run around, so a terrorist can hide out. That's a flaw, but what can you do in a free society? You got to let people in to visit. All right.
It's tough when you don't have a job to stay for very long.
It's not perfect, but it's the right thing to do. And finally, if the Republicans don't do it, I mean, you guys are going to have to change your name to the Mugwumps or something. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the best reason to do it is it's the right policy, but I think good politics follows that, certainly.